Hi guys, it's Irene. Welcome back to my channel. If you haven't watched my last video about C, D, E and a new song, go check that out. In today's video, we're going to learn two new notes, F and G. Last time we learned C, D, and E, and so we're going to learn two more notes today. So let's get right to it. So we're going to start off with F, okay? This is pretty simple, just the back left thumb, okay? Nothing else, just covering that hole, and make sure that right thumb is supporting the instrument right with that thumb rest. Okay, so it's just that thumb. Let's try it out. Okay, remember that embouchure. Make sure that's, bottom lip tucked in, and then you're biting with your top teeth, right? And then wrapping around, and then again. One more time. Good job. Okay, did that work for you? Try it one more time, play around with it, and just think about the three notes that we learned last time. We learned C, D, and E, right? So if this is F, then if you remember to last time, E is one more finger added to that, right? D is one more finger, and then C is one more finger after that. Okay, so you have C, D, E, and F. And now G. G is the most simple. No fingers. Okay, it's no fingers at all. You're not just gonna play it like, well, obviously if you do that, then you get the right note. You get G, but you still wanna support it with your right thumb, okay? And so it's no fingers, just keep them hovering over your keys, okay? You don't want your fingers up like this, because then once you're actually playing pieces, you will have to play other notes. And so you want them to be at the ready, okay? So just hover them right over the keys, not pressing them, because then that'll sound a different note, which isn't what you want. You just want G. So just hover over, right? Get that embouchure, breathe in through your mouth. Again. One more time. And that's 5 notes. Now let's try playing all 5 notes together. C, D, E, F, and G. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna hold out each note for 2 counts, just going up. So from C to G, okay? So starting with C, all 4 fingers down, have that thumb rest there, and get that embouchure ready. Ready, go. Did that work? Let's try it one more time. Ready? Ready, go. Now let's try going from G to C. Okay, same thing. Hold each note out for 2 beats, 2 counts, okay? So starting with G, no fingers, but support it. Ready? Ready, go. One more time. Ready? Ready, go. Good job. Now, something to think about as you're doing this, and as you're playing more harder pieces or just scales really, your fingers need to know where they need to go at the next step, right? So when you're playing G, you don't have any fingers down, right? But in your head, as you're counting 1, 2, you have to already be thinking, oh, I have to put my thumb down so that I can play F next, right? And so you have to think a little ahead. This is what music is. You have to think ahead. You want to play as musically and in the moment as possible, but you do have to think ahead into the next measure. What's the next note? What's the next phrase that I need to play? Okay? So from going from each note to note, your fingers need to be hovering over, right? They can't be all the way out here because they're not going to have enough time to get down to the key. Okay, so you have F, and then while you're playing F, you should already be thinking, oh, my next note is E. So that finger is getting ready, and then you want it to cover it. Remember what I said last time about if you find that the note isn't coming out completely, like, do you hear that? And then the difference is, do you hear how much clearly that E came out? It's because my finger was completely covering this hole. Okay, it makes a huge difference. So remember, like what I said last time, if you want to do an exercise to see if you're covering all the holes, cover them completely. Like look at them. Oh, I'm covering everything. Remember that feeling. Look at your fingers and you should have complete holes, no half holes, because then that tells you, oh, I have a little air leak right here. I have, air is coming out of that hole when it really shouldn't be. Okay, so just try that out. Just now we played C to G, from G to C, with the separation in the middle. Now let's try putting them together, okay? We're gonna try the same thing, going from C to G, down back to C, okay? And 2 beats on each note, no repeat at the top. So don't repeat the G. So C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D, C, okay? Ready, go. Good job, you guys. Let's play some music together. So we're going to take a look at this piece that starts on the note F, which is a note that we learned today. If you look through this piece, you'll see some notes that are black notes and some that are white notes. There are more musical terms for that, which I'll teach you now. The black notes are called quarter notes, and the white blank notes are called half notes. Each quarter note is equal to 1 beat. Okay, and each half note is equal to 2 beats. 2 beats, it sounds pretty familiar because that's what we did earlier with the C, D, E, F, G, right? And so in each measure, if you see in this piece here, you'll see that there are lines, right? Those are bar lines. And so within each bar line to bar line, that equals 4 beats. In this piece specifically. So it's 4 beats, meaning if there's one measure, how many quarter notes would fit in it? 4. And if it's one measure, then 2 half notes would fit in, right? Because each half note equals 2 and 2. Okay, so in this piece specifically, the first measure starts off with 2 half notes, F, and then the second note is E. So then that would sound a little like, right? And then the next measure, it has F, E, F, right? Quarter note, half note. The next measure, we have 4 quarter notes. E, E, D, E. Next measure, F, but only for 2 beats. And then you say, but what about the other 2 beats that are in that measure? If you look there, there is this hat. There's this rectangular box in that measure. That's called a half rest. There's a whole rest and a half rest. In this instance, it's a half rest, meaning that it's resting, so you don't play anything for 2 beats. Okay, so that's just the first 4 measures. Now the next measure, we have F, just a quarter note, and then a rest, The sign here that you see here means a quarter rest. So 1 beat rest, and then the next note is E, just a quarter note, then another quarter rest, and then F, E, D, quarter note, half note. Then the next measure, we have 4 quarter notes again. C, C, D, E, right? Going back to the C that we learned last time. C, C, D, E. And then last measure, F, F, 2 half notes. Okay, that was a whole rundown of this piece that we're going to play together. So very slowly, let's try this. I'll count it off with 4 beats. 1, 2, ready, go. Rest. Good job, you guys. Let's take a look at another piece. Now this piece also starts on the note F, right? 4 quarter notes in the first measure. We have F, F, E, D. Next measure, C, C, 2 half notes. Next measure, we have D, D, E, C. And then F, C. It's a big jump from F to C. Make sure your fingers are close to the keys. F, C. Okay? And then next measure we have F, F, E, D. Again, C, C. And then D, D, E, C. Last measure, this is a note that we haven't seen yet, or we've seen the note F, but not this type of note. We have F for 4 whole beats, okay? So there aren't any quarter notes or half notes in this measure. It's just a whole note, okay? So whole notes equals 4 beats, taking up the entire measure, okay? So let's try playing it together now. I'll count it off with 4 beats. 1, 2, ready, go. And that's another piece. Now let's do one last piece, including the note G, okay? Because we also learned that today. In this piece here, it starts with the note G, okay? And then with a half note. So we have G, F, G, right? A whole note. And then we have E, E, F, F, 4 quarter notes, G, half note, and then half rest, right, for 2 beats, and then we have G, rest, F, rest, E, rest, D, rest, C, D, E, C, rest, F, F, and it ends with a half note, okay? There are a lot of rests here, but let's take it slowly. Let's try playing it. I'm gonna count this off with 4 beats again. 1, 2, ready, go. How did that go for you? I know the rest can be a little tricky in the piece, so you can always go back in the video, pause the video, just look through the music again, okay? Get everything into your head, absorb everything that I've said, and then you can always try playing it on your own. You don't always have to play it along with me. You could try playing it a little faster if you want to. Just make sure that you're playing all the half notes for 2 beats, the quarter notes for 1 beat, whole notes for 4 beats, and then the half rest, again for 2 beats, and the quarter rest for 1 beat. Okay? As long as you have that, you got it. In my next video, we're going to take a closer look and dive deeper into the different parts of written music that you've either already seen in the music that we've looked at, or that you'll see very soon. I hope you guys had fun making music with me today. If you did, please go give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.